Dear students in grade 12, the baccalaureate, good afternoon and welcome to the English seminar for today. In this session, we are going to discuss Unit 8 in both books, the student book and the activity book. Actually, we have a number of skills, a number of points to discuss together. This unit is really rich in exercises and activities, but it is a bit poor in grammar. So we are going to discuss everything and cover everything in this unit. But before we start our discussion, let me introduce and welcome my colleagues here in the studio, Miss Lama Halloum, an English supervisor from Latakia. Good afternoon, Ms. Lama, and thank you for coming from Latvia for this long journey to Damascus.
Thank you very much. You are always welcome.
Thank you. Also, we have Mr. Hamid At-Talib, an English teacher from Damascus. Good afternoon, Mr. Hamid.
Good afternoon, Mr. Karim.
And thank you for participating us in this.
It's a pleasure to join you guys here in this symposium.
Thank you very much. Dear colleagues, dear students, in Unit 8, we do have a number of activities, a number of skills to discuss. And in both books, we have texts, reading texts.
Yes.
We are going to analyze the texts which are, found in both books. We have a bit of a grammar, which is, we have just a rule, a simple rule, which is about comparing and contrasting.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But it is rich. This unit is rich in activities.
Yes.
So we are going to cover all of them, okay, and make it clear to our students to understand it.
Okay.
In the beginning, we are going now directly to start with unit number 8 in the student's book. Please, the laptop, please. Here we have comparing and contrasting. This unit, in this unit, comparing and contrasting, what do we mean by comparing? And what do we mean by contrasting? And what is the difference between these two words?
Okay.
Well, to compare between two things is to show the difference between them. So I compare something to another thing to show you that there is a difference between them. So if I have, for example, a dress, and my sister, if I have a dress and my sister has a dress, so my dress is, let's say, shorter than her, but it's more beautiful.
Yes.
Her dress is longer, but it might be less beautiful.
Yes.
So in this way, we show that there is a difference between the two items, and we can compare, let's say, items more seriously than that. We can compare ideas. For example, I believe in something, but you believe in something else.
Now here we come here to contrasting.
Yes.
So you mentioned now about the dress.
Yeah.
So here we have a dress,
and there here we have a dress.
So we have the same item.
Yes.
So we are comparing between these, or the same items.
Between the same items.
Exactly.
So when you compare, you tell the same about two or more things.
Yeah. When we contrast. So when we contrast, we compare or we talk about two or more things.
Yes.
For example, let me now give you an example here.
Yeah.
Here we have, I think now the mouse is not working.
No problem.
Okay, no problem. It's working now. The laptop, please. Here now we say farming is less profitable than it used to be. Look,
Yes.
Farming is less profitable than it used to be. So here we are talking about farming.
Different situation. Yes.
Yeah, here we are talking about farming.
Yeah.
Farming now and farming in the past.
Yes.
Exactly.
So this is here we have one item for comparison,
Yeah.
which is the
farming.
Also, the city is much busier than the countryside. Here also we are talking about the busy thing here.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are comparing the situation in the city and the same situation in the country.
Yes.
Exactly.
So here it is busier. So we say the city is much busier than the countryside. Here now, the words for comparing are very, very few. Here we have less and we have more.
Yeah. But just in this case here, of course we have a lot of examples we can use, or a lot of words we can use and expressions in order to show the similarity between two or more things, just like for both.
Very nice.
Like,
but now we are just now going to simplify the idea so that our students learn how to compare and how to contrast.
Yeah, especially in this unit.
Yeah, especially in unit number 8.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very good example.
Very nice. Now here, this is about comparing. So we talked about comparing. We had, we have two examples. One of them about, the
farming.
About the farming, and the second is about the busy places, in the city and in the country. Now, what about contrasting? So we finished talking about, comparing. How to contrast things?
So when you contrast things,
yes,
you tell what's the difference between two or more things.
Yeah. Now, before that, Mr. Hamid, we have some specific words or expressions that are used to contrast ideas together.
And sometimes these words and these expressions are called clauses of concession. For example, I can use but, and the most famous one is but. I can use whereas, while, on the other hand, on the other side. I mean, a lot of words and expressions.
Now, let us, Ms. Lama, discuss these words and expressions one by one. Okay, so we talked now about them in general. Okay, we said that we have a number of words, a number of expressions that are used, to contrast things.
Exactly.
Now, let us, Ms. Lama, take them one by one. Okay, for example, we have whereas.
Yes.
What or how can we use whereas? Yes, please.
We use it to say that something is totally different from the other thing. For example, whereas I live in an apartment, my grandfather used to live in a small house.
Yes.
So I show the difference now in situation between my way of living and the other way, which is showing the difference between two situations in the same.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Sorry for interruption. Now here, whereas, here this word is used to join two clauses.
Exactly.
Two clauses.
Yes.
Okay. For example, we say I prefer living in the town.
Okay.
I prefer living in the town, whereas my brother prefers the country.
Yeah. There should be a
I love
clause for each
science,
side.
whereas or while my best friend think it's dull.
Exactly. So here, look here, Mr. Hamid. I prefer living in the town. This is a clause. My brother prefers the country. This is also a
different
clause.
Person, different situation.
So here, between them, or we can link them together by the word whereas.
Exactly.
Yes.
So here we say, I prefer living in the town, whereas my brother prefers the country. The laptop, please. Or we can replace the position of the word whereas. We can use it in the beginning of the sentence.
With its clause.
Yes. Whereas some people enjoy the outdoor life.
Yes.
Others spend all their time indoors. Indoors or at home. No difference between them. Yes. So the word whereas can be used either in the middle between two clauses, or we can start the sentence with the word whereas.
Yes.
Yes.
So here we have two examples. We repeat them again. Would you please repeat the examples again?
Well, we have two examples. For example, I prefer living in the town.
Sorry for interruption. Sorry, we need to have a short break. Then we will be back again. Dear students, a short break. Then we'll be back again. Stay with us. Dear students, welcome back. We were talking about contrast and the words or expressions used in contrast. Okay, you said that we have a number of words like whereas, but on the other hand,
in spite of,
instead of, okay, very nice.
Yes, yeah.
And we talked about whereas. We said that whereas can be used in the middle between two clauses,
or we can start the sentence.
Or we can start the sentence with this word.
Yeah.
Here I gave you an example. Would you please, Lama, give the example again about whereas?
Some people enjoy the outdoor life, others spend all their time indoors.
Indoors.
And here we have whereas at the beginning of the clause.
Very nice.
And we have the second situation where we can use it in the middle of two clauses. I prefer living in the town, whereas my brother prefers the country.
The country. So about now, dear students, this word, whereas, can be used in two positions.
Yes.
Either in the middle between two clauses,
A mid
or
position.
in the beginning of the sentence. Very nice, thank you. Now, what about the second word which we use for contrasting things?
Well, the second word is actually the most common and the very famous word is the word but.
But.
Yes.
Very nice.
And this word is used to join two clauses. For example, when I say, I love football, but my brother loves basketball. So we use this word but to join two clauses. Okay?
Yes, very nice.
That's
so here yes, very nice, Mr. Hamid, thank you. Here, the word but, and some students ask about the difference between but and however. But when we use but, we use it to contrast two opposite ideas,
Positive and
but in
negative.
the same sentence.
Yes.
Exactly.
In the same sentence. However, is used also to contrast two different ideas or two opposite ideas, but in different sentences. Because after, however, we have a full stop.
Yeah,
We have a full stop
and
a period.
after,
Then we start with capital
however,
letter.
we have
Before
a
the
comma.
word, however, we put a
Yes,
period.
yes,
Yes.
And after it,
We
and we
have a
can use
comma.
another word.
Yes.
Beside, however, we can use nevertheless. In the
Yes,
same sentence.
Yes, yes. Now, this is not our topic, but now just we are giving an example about the difference between but and however.
Yeah.
Very nice. So, but here we said that it, you know,
comes in the middle. of the
joins
sentence.
two clauses. Would you please tell us here the example? The example.
Okay,
I can-
so
Yes.
Okay.
my brother, so we
Yes.
have this example. My brother prefers living in the country, but I prefer the town. So here in this sentence, we can say that Here the word but is used to show the contrast between two sentences, and we can see about its position kind of in the middle, okay? And we don't have anything before it or after it.
Very nice. So here, when we say, my brother prefers living in the country, this is a clause.
Exactly.
Then we have, I prefer the town. Another clause.
Yeah.
Here, these two clauses or these two ideas are different.
Yes.
Exactly. Are opposite.
Opposite.
So here we use but. Now the question, Mr. Hamid, is can we use but as whereas in the beginning of the sentence?
Whereas?
Can we say, but my brother prefers living in the country, I prefer?
No, it comes
no, it is not possible.
Yeah.
It is
it's
not
always
used.
in the middle to join the two clauses.
It is always
so
in
it
the
always has gotten that mid position.
Yes, it is in a mid position, while the word whereas can be used in both positions, in the beginning and in the middle of two clauses. Exactly. Very nice. Now, Ms. Lama, we come to another expression that is used to contrast things together. Would you please talk about it?
On the other hand.
Yes.
And this can be used to join clauses. I'll give you an example. Traveling by car.
It can or can't?
It can't be used to join.
It can't be used to join
clauses. For example, traveling by car is very cheap.
Yes.
On the other hand, flying is much quicker.
Look here at the first part of the sentence. The first clause means here we have a period, a full stop.
Yes,
exactly.
It means that we are not linking two clauses together.
The first one is a full one. It's a full sentence.
Exactly.
It's completed and it has got its own meaning.
Yes.
So if we add the other one, then we are making that contrast. If we stop there, it's never mind. Yes. So it's complete sentence.
So on the other hand,
it's to add something.
To add something.
To add something, to contrast.
On the other hand, means here
this is additional.
Yes, it's additional. But it is here, it is making contrasting between two things.
And clarifying.
Between, traveling by car and flying.
Yes.
So here we say traveling by car is very cheap. On the other hand, flying is much quicker.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's now come to the next one, Mr. Hamid.
Yes.
We have, yes?
We have the word instead of.
Yes.
And we use this word to show the contrast, and it has, we can use it at the beginning of the sentence. Let's have an example. Instead of flying, let's go by car. So here in this sentence, I use the expression instead of at the beginning of the sentence.
Yes.
But if we have another example, could I have tea instead of coffee, please? Now, we can see that here in this sentence, I use the word instead of right in the middle.
Yes.
So the word instead of can be used in two positions,
so
at the beginning and in the mid position.
Nice. So to simplify the idea, we can say that instead of is like
changing the
meaning. No, is like
whereas.
In the position,
it can be used in the beginning
or in the middle,
to link or to join two clauses together. So here, instead of flying, let's go by car.
And it's very easy. The meaning is very simple.
Yes.
We are canceling something to do something else.
Very nice.
So I'm changing something with another thing. So it's very easy to use it.
We can replace things by the use of.
Yes.
We're replacing these things.
The second example, can I have tea instead of coffee?
So I've changed my mind.
Yes, I've changed my mind.
Okay.
Okay, because this morning I had maybe 2 or 3 mugs of tea. Now I want.
I got enough.
I got enough. Nice. So here it is used to change. Miss Lama, what about the last expression or phrase that is used to contrast things?
It's in comparison with, and it's clear now that we are comparing something with another thing. So, for example, when I say in comparison with flying, driving is quite slow and dangerous. So I'm here comparing between the two ways of transporting. So it's clear that I am comparing something to another thing to show the difference between them.
Very nice.
It's very easy.
So here we say, in comparison with,
We can use it.
flying,
Driving
comma,
is quiet,
driving is quiet,
slow, and dangerous.
and dangerous. Look
And-
here now, look here. In comparison with, here we don't have anything before it.
Yes.
Just
We started
mentioning,
the sentence.
just mentioning, in comparison with flying, driving is quiet, slow, and dangerous. Without mentioning about the adjective of flying, okay, we understand that flying is
It's
what?
going to be
Quicker and
and
safer.
and we are going to compare it to something else from the very beginning.
Also, we are comparing it with
Yes.
something else. Very nice. So I think this is very simple grammar or very simple rule that is found in unit number 8.
It's familiar to
It is familiar to our
Yes.
students. So I don't think it is so difficult, and we can move now to start, okay, immediately with the text. With the texts in both books, but we will start with the with the first text in the activity.
In the
sorry, in
activity.
the students' book.
Students.
Yes, right. Now here we have the yes, the laptop, please. Miss Lama.
Yeah.
It is very important before we study anything or before we read any text, it is very important to focus on the title.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The title is very important because the whole idea of the text is included
In the title.
in the title. Now here the title of Unit 8 in the student's book is Urban and Rural Life.
Yeah.
Now we have more than one question about it. Urban, what do we mean by urban?
Well, it's an adjective
Yes.
used to describe the city life.
City life.
Yes.
So urban is used to describe city life.
It is related to city.
To city
life.
Urban.
Yes.
What rural?
Now it goes to the village life.
Okay, to the
The
country
country
life.
life.
Or
It's
to
an
the
adjective used to describe the countryside.
The countryside.
the countryside
life.
life or the
Not big
village
town.
life.
Yes.
Very
Exactly.
nice. So here we have urban and rural. So urban is related to city life and rural is related
to
the
countryside.
countryside. Very
Yes.
nice, very nice. Now also about the title.
The title itself.
What can you understand from the title?
So that we are going to compare about the two kind of lives here
Very
now.
nice.
This is again related to the grammar side, which we talked about.
The grammatical
Yes.
side,
Yes.
okay,
Yes.
very nice. So we talked about comparing and contrasting.
And this text is going to be
very nice.
comparing.
And the
This text is
title,
going to be a good implementation
Yes.
for the grammar
very
points.
nice.
Yes.
Very nice. So urban and rural life, here in this case, we understand that we are going to compare between the
City
city
life
life
and the country.
village life or the
Yeah.
country
Yes.
life. Very nice. Now, before we go into the text, and before I ask you, we have a lot of questions.
We are ready.
A lot of
Okay.
questions about the text,
Okay.
which is really interesting and
Okay.
really, it is very simple and interesting.
Enjoyable.
It's yes,
Yes.
it's really enjoying. Here now we have some words which are related to the text. For example, the word deserted. What do we mean by deserted, Mr. Hamid?
Deserted, when you leave a place,
Yes.
when you leave the country, when you abandon some place,
Yes.
we call this deserted. And
When you-
abandon the place.
Yes.
When you leave it empty behind you.
Uh-huh.
So it becomes deserted.
Yes.
In this sense, we can call this place deserted.
Yes.
So you leave it empty without any people or
yes. So deserted here, yes, when we leave our village and go to another
they
place,
become abandoned.
Yeah.
Village.
So the village becomes deserted, means empty of its people.
Yeah, few people live there.
Very few people, fewer people live in.
Okay.
Very nice. What about inhabitant?
Now,
Ms. Lama.
the people or someone who lives somewhere in a place.
Yes.
So
inhabitant is the person or is a person who lives
in a
place.
Yes.
Very
Exactly.
nice. What about overcrowding, Mr. Hamid?
Overcrowding, when you have a place that is full of people, a lot of people, a big number of people, having too many people. So I can describe this a place that it's very overcrowding.
So can we say that villages are overcrowding?
Villages?
Yes.
Well, I can't say that. I can't. Cities are overcrowded places.
Cities are
overcrowded.
Yes, very nice. Phenomenon, Ms. Lama.
It's something that happens or exists.
Yeah, something that happens.
A fact,
for example,
a fact or something considered unusual.
Yes,
we call it a phenomenon.
Yes.
So this is a phenomenon. It doesn't happen all the time.
Yeah, it is called a phenomenon.
Yes.
Very nice. Profitable, Mr. Hamid.
Profitable, you're talking about the dough. You're talking about the money, something that gives you money, something that makes money.
Yes.
In this way, we call it profitable.
Yeah. Can you give an example of something that gives money and it's a profitable?
Can I? Because I care about money.
Yeah, you care about money. Nice. Everybody cares about money, actually, yes.
When I buy something and keep it, for example, a piece of land, and keep it, and then I want to
sell it. Yes.
So I buy it with, let's say,
a million Syrian pounds. Then you say 2
million is too much. Let's say 100 Syrian pound, and then I sell it for 1,000.
Yes.
So this piece of land was very profitable.
Yes.
Makes money for me.
Yes. But not for 1,000.
It's enough for me.
Million.
It's enough for me.
Here you are using money, not.
Well, from 100 to 2,000 is profitable.
Yes,
it's good.
Nice. What about public services, Mr. Hamid?
No, the public services are a kind of service that is, used for the people.
Yes.
For example, when you're talking about the universities, the schools, the transport, all these things are used, just to benefit the people.
Very nice. So this is called public, like schools, streets, roads,
transport.
All people can use them.
Oh, yes, very nice. Yeah. So which people can use, them? What about rural?
Again, it's something, and we said that it's an adjective to describe the countryside, not towns or cities.
Yes.
It is related to villages.
So it's very specific.
Yes.
It's kind of very exclusive to the countryside. We can't use the word rural with the town or the city.
Yes.
So the word rural is the antonym of the word urban.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes. Can we say that there are, antonyms here?
Yes.
Antonyms.
They are the antonym.
They are antonym of the word urban. So we have rural and we have urban. They are antonyms.
That's why we have that kind of contrast.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now we come to the text.
Okay.
Actually, in this text, which talks about the end of village life, and as I said in the beginning of this seminar, that the title is very important to understand the content of the text.
Exactly.
Okay? Without the title, I need to read the whole text to understand what they are talking about.
Yeah.
But by reading the title, I can immediately, have an idea about what the text is going to be.
At least
be about.
Exactly.
At least a hint about what is it going to be about.
Yes, exactly. So it gives us a good idea about
the text
itself.
So here in this case, if I read this title, The End of Village Life, I can infer from the title, from the very beginning, that village life is in jeopardy.
Yes.
There's something very dangerous going to happen to the village and the villagers and the people who are living in those villages.
Very nice. Thank you, Mr. Hamid. Now here, the end of village life. What do you understand out of this title, Ms. Lama?
I can get an idea that there's something wrong is going to be about living there in villages. Maybe sometimes we leave our countryside to go to somewhere else, maybe towns or cities to find work, to live, to go shopping for me. So those villages are going to be threatened. There's something wrong is going to happen to them. They may be ended.
Depopulation?
Yes.
Depopulation.
Of course. We are leaving the places, those places which are usually very small.
Yes.
Once we leave, well, they are left empty.
Yes.
So it can lead to the end of those places.
Yes, yes. I think this is a worldly matter. It is not, you know, it is not specific
country, yes.
in any of the countries of the world, but it is, you know, a phenomenon.
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
That is, you know, that spreads around the world. When people move from their places, villages, okay, to have a better job, to study maybe,
to find
to
employment,
earn more money,
to find employment.
to find
For
employment.
Yeah.
So what happens to the village and what happens to the cities? So here we have a real problem indeed.
Exactly.
This phenomenon is called depopulation, or it is called rural depopulation. It is not urban depopulation.
Oh, since we're talking about the movement of people from the rural,
exactly.
from the countryside
because of
areas
that,
to the towns,
yes,
to the cities.
Because of that, we call it rural depopulation.
Yes.
So because the problem happens, actually it happens in both of them, in the village and also in the city.
It does
But
have
in different way.
It does have
But in
an effect on both
different way.
sides.
How now? What is the difference between this and that?
Villages are left empty, whereas we have now the overcrowding people, crowded number of people in cities.
Yes.
So this depopulation leads to another situation in cities, which is the overcrowding.
Yes.
You ain't talking only about the overcrowding. You're talking about the level of pollution.
Yes.
And on the other hand,
It's a
when you're
result.
talking
No,
about the
yes,
countryside,
actually, we have many results.
Yes.
Right?
One of
but
them
now
is-
I'm asking about the meaning of rural depopulation. It means
rural
here-
depopulation
Yes.
means when people leave their countries in order to find better jobs, in order to find employment in the
Yes.
cities,
Yes.
they leave their homes, they leave their farms.
Very
In this
nice.
way, in this sense,
So this is called rural
related to
depopulation.
depopulation.
Now, here in this text, we learned that people never buy homes or houses in the villages.
Yeah,
Why?
they can't make money out of them.
they ain't profitable.
I give you an example.
Very
Yeah.
nice. So if I ask you, why don't people buy homes in the village or in
Yeah.
the country? Because
Because they can't make money out
why
of them.
can't they
because
make money?
They can't
Why?
sell them.
Why? Why? Because
No one wants to
because
live
people
there.
are immigrating, are
Yes.
moving
No
from
one
this
wants to
village
live
the
there.
city.
Yes, they are leaving.
Yes, very
Yes.
nice, very nice. Mr. Hamid,
Yeah.
how does the rural depopulation affect the country areas?
Rural depopulation?
Yes.
Well, it affects it many ways.
Yes.
Well, since the people left their homes, since they are considered depopulated, so in this way, public services became poor,
Very nice.
and in this way, in this sense, and in this regard, the homes and the farms are left empty.
Yes.
So it has really, a negative effect.
Yes. So we say that when people move from their village, then here the public services will decrease, will be less.
Exactly.
Right?
Because there is no one.
no people, no people,
No need
no
Yeah.
to
need.
be there.
Yes.
No one is
So
going to
this is
use
one.
them.
This is one thing. Another thing is that because what about schools and things like that?
They are
Farms,
usually- yes.
farms become also empty,
Deserted.
Empty, yeah.
deserted,
Yes.
Yeah.
and the villages become also deserted. Thank you. Ms. Lama, how does the rural depopulation affect the towns and cities?
It leads to overcrowding there.
Yes.
When there are too many people going to live in the cities and the towns, well, they are usually overcrowded. You have to give them the service, the services, the public service itself will be overcrowded. You can't find a space in cities and towns, whereas in the farms there is no one there, or let's say very few people there.
Now, Mr. Hamid talked about that side, which is about the countryside.
It's the opposite situation. When they live there, they make that overcrowding in the cities and towns.
Very nice. What about pollution? What about public services? You talked about that. So here, cities will be in need for more public services.
This will lead to more pollution.
Very nice, very nice, very nice.
I mean, it creates a lot of problems. Not only. I mean, a problem depending on another problem.
Yes, exactly.
So we have more people overcrowding. It means all, you know, the increasing level of pollution.
Yes, that's
more places to work, more places to live.
Now, here, this is talking in general now. We talked about city and country life in general. Now, in the text also, we have an example of this phenomenon, which is moving from the village into the city. Here, the example is about a village or an area called Garrigues.
Garrigues.
What are the characteristics of Garrigues?
Well, first, it's a Spanish area.
When we talk about characteristics, it means that things
related to
which is
place,
specific
for
this place. Okay? Yes, please, Mr. Hamid.
Well, Garrigues, first of all, it's a Spanish area.
Yes.
It's not French or it's not Russian. And it's kind of 1 hour, 1 hour drive from Barcelona. It got a lot of, or many characteristics. For example, it has a Mediterranean climate. So this is the fundamental characteristic of Garrigues. And it has, low temperatures. The winter, we're talking about the winter, the season.
So we have, first of all, we have Mediterranean climate.
Yeah.
We know that Mediterranean climate is warm.
Yeah.
So,
it's cool.
But this one is cold.
Why?
In winter. Why is it so?
It's because it's very high.
It's high.
It's
very high.
And
not close to the sea.
It is not close to the sea. Very nice. It is far away from the sea.
So this is the first characteristic of Garrigues.
Yes, good. Yes, another thing about Garrigues.
Another thing about Garrigues, well, it was a very successful agricultural area.
Yes.
If we talk about, if we go back in time, it was once a very famous, a very agricultural area.
Very successful agricultural area.
Exactly.
Oh, very nice.
It was, there are a number of crops that were grown here in Garrigues. For example, when you have wheat, when you have the sunflower.
Yes.
So the agricultural areas were on the higher ground and on river valleys.
Yes. When we talk about the higher ground, which crops are grown there or were grown there? Because we are talking about the history of Garrigues in the past.
Well, on higher ground we have almonds and vines.
Vines, very nice. What about the river valleys, Ms. Lama?
They used to grow sunflowers and olive.
Yeah,
it's very famous for its olive oil, which is exported to other places.
Yeah, it is special for exportation.
Yes, it was of high quality.
What else?
They used to grow. My colleague has said that they grow wheat, beans, and sunflower.
Yes, and these are called the traditional crops
for that place.
For that place.
Yes, it used to be traditional.
It used to be because now we are talking about the history of Garrigues. Okay,
it's the history not existed anymore.
Very nice. Thank you. what was Garrigues famous for? You said
The
that
olive oil.
the olive oil, the very
Price of
good quality,
high quality, yes.
high quality of olive oil.
Yeah,
Because you know, the Mediterranean climate
it's rich.
is rich in what?
oil.
In olive.
Yes.
But I think Syria has
Syria
that.
Yes.
also, yeah, Syria.
Yes.
If you go to Tartus, to Latakia, okay, then, or you know, all over Syria, you find that it is rich in,
Yes.
because our the climate here is Mediterranean. Very
Exactly.
nice. Why did people start to move out of Garrigues? Now the question is, since Garrigues was famous and was a successful agricultural area,
place, yes.
why did people start to move and live there, this area?
Well, people started to leave Garrigues because farming became less profitable.
Yes, less profitable, and also
And unemployment started to blow.
They were not able to find works or jobs there, so they left to find
very
better
nice,
paid
very
jobs.
nice, very nice. So we have now here maybe two reasons for that.
Yeah.
Farming became less profitable, and also
Yeah,
lack of employment.
Exactly.
No employment in Garrigues,
jobs.
so people want to have jobs, okay, to earn money, so they moved to other places.
Yeah.
Very nice. Miss Lama, why are rich people in Europe moving to the countryside?
Yes.
Now here in the text, we learn also that we have what we call the opposite immigration. You know, we have
From the
immigration,
city.
you know, from the village into the city, and we have the opposite one,
Exactly.
especially in Europe.
Yes, but
so
it's
why do
temporary.
you think so?
Temporary. It's temporary immigration because rich people, especially wealthy people, used to move from the city to towns and villages or the countryside in general, because it's a result, as my colleague has said, that they run away from pollution, from noise, from stress, and there they can find the quietness and
the quiet and peace
there.
Very nice.
So, this movement was only for holiday or for weekend.
Yes, maybe
It's
for
not
holiday, for
it wasn't
weekend.
permanent.
Yes, right. Very
Again, because
nice.
they can't find jobs there. They can't live forever there.
Yes.
But they go there for relaxation.
Anybody, when he gets that old, he just is looking for that peace of mind.
Yes, very nice.
I just want to get out of the overcrowding. I just want to escape from the noise.
Well,
I just want a peaceful. I just want a peaceful place.
Peaceful place, very nice.
We have to wait maybe 10 years till we grow up to feel that.
Yes. Now, Mr. Hamid, why do you think people in villages are only those elderly people?
Well, because the young people have already left to look for better paid jobs, to look for employment, and for sure, as a result, only elderly people will remain.
Yes, very nice.
They don't have to work anymore.
Yes, so
they
are
can live simple
lives.
Yes.
Simple lives. Simple.
And they don't need that money, that future the young
they
are looking for. So
very nice. So
they
because
are
of that,
there, they look for calm.
This is one of the results of moving from the village into the city. Okay, so we say that only elderly people,
are away.
stay in their village because they don't look for jobs because they are elderly.
They have work,
and they just now want to live their lives
relax
in simple way. Very nice. Thank you. Now, also in the text, we talked about the people of a typical village in the past and the people of the village nowadays. What is the difference, Ms. Lama, between the number of people in the past and the number of people nowadays?
It's
how
less
many
than
people?
It used to be in the past.
Yes.
Now there are fewer people there. They used to live maybe from 500 Inhabitant
in the
now
past.
less
That
than,
was in the past.
is now less than 100.
Less than
So
100
fewer people are living there in
Yeah.
countryside.
Okay, also, you know, this is, as we said, this is one of the results and one of the problems of the countryside. Very nice. We said that in the past, a typical village had, you know, about 500 people. Now we have about
Less
100,
than 100.
or maybe less than
100.
people.
Yeah.
Actually, this is everything about this text, which is the end of village life.
Okay.
And we saw that the end of village life, this title gives us really a very good idea about the whole text.
Yes.
Because everything we studied, right, indicates that the village
There's
life
something
is
wrong,
going to
yes.
an end.
Yeah.
We will have an end to this.
Village life is just in jeopardy.
Yes.
We gotta save it. We gotta do something in order to stop this
Movement.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we will come also to vocabs or vocabulary. You know, the laptop, please. We know that, you know, we have one of the topics or one of the exercises in this book is talking about vocabulary. And vocabulary is something very important, as you know. Here we have some vocabs about sounds. And this is the first time we mention this,
Yeah.
okay? Sounds about,
Vocabs.
Different
vocabs
things.
about sounds.
They can
Yeah.
be used as vocabs itself.
Yes, vocabs, of course.
They can be used as nouns and verbs.
Yes.
When you're
Nouns,
talking about the
even
grammatical
though they are
category
sounds.
of these
Yes,
two words.
even if they are sounds,
Sounds,
they
they
can,
can be
be
used
used as nouns and
nouns,
verbs.
verbs.
Let me give, or let's give an example or some examples about that. Here we have the word, the laptop, please. We have the word bang.
Bang is that a sudden noise, a sudden percussive noise. For example, imagine yourself when somebody knocks on the door in a very loud way, or when a door closed in noisily.
So this is called bang.
Bang.
So bang.
Bang. It's the same sound.
Yeah.
It's bang.
So it is a door closing very noisily. This is an example, of course, about the word
Yeah.
bang.
Or when you
Or a
take a
hammer.
nail, when you
Hammer.
take a nail
Yes.
and you hit it in the wall, you
Yes.
hammer it.
You hammer it.
By the
So
use
this
of
is
the
called
hammer.
bang or banging. Very
Yeah.
nice. What about click, Miss Lama?
I think it's very familiar because all of us click.
Yes, click.
Yeah, maybe the car seat belt when it clicks.
Yes, when you fasten the car belt.
And even any button, you just
Yeah.
click.
Yes.
Maybe on your laptop. So this is a click, and it's very familiar because
Yes.
it
It's
is
a
used.
brief sound, a brief sharp sound, just like, you know, a sound of a
So
light
it is
switch.
a light switch.
Yeah.
A light switch.
A light switch.
switch, you know. It is light. Very nice. What about the drip?
Drip, when you fall something one drop at a time. For example, imagine you have a water tap.
Yes.
And this water tap, you know the word tap, something we use to control the flow of the water.
Yeah.
When you have this tap that is leaking very slowly, that is dropping one drop at a time.
Yes.
So when this tap hasn't been turned
So
off
we can say that
completely,
the drip is taken from drop.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drops of water.
Yeah.
Drip. So
Drip.
drip.
So it's
Yeah.
So
it is the sound
kind of
of
falls one
sound
drop
of
at a time.
of a drops
Yeah.
falling into into
from a
the
tap.
yes,
Maybe
very nice.
it's left.
From
A water tap that hasn't been completely
Yes.
turned off.
Yes, very nice. What about roar?
roar. It sounds the same as you imagine it. It's roar.
Yes.
Like let's say the traffic.
Traffic.
If you are living near a bus station and
Yes.
every
Bus
day
station,
you
train
you are-
station, maybe
yes,
aeroplanes, you know.
That sound like
Yeah.
something is roaring.
Yes, roar.
Yes.
Yeah, so it is for traffic or plane engine. Very nice.
And by the way, you can
engine.
use,
Any
and by the
engine.
way, in addition to that, you can use the word roar to describe a cry of a lion, a sound of the
Yes,
lion.
sound.
Exactly, for a lion.
Not
That
to
a
forget
huge
about
sound.
it.
Yes,
Very
it's
nice.
roaring.
Yes, good. What about scream?
Well, I usually scream when I see a spider, a mouse.
A mouse.
Yes.
Oh my God, you are so
Yeah, so
brave.
screaming is very common with girls.
With girls.
Yeah, when you are afraid of something, when you are frightened,
yes,
then you scream.
Oh, very nice. What about splash, Mr. Hamid?
Splash, just imagine that you have something and you suddenly drop it into the water. Or just imagine somebody jumps into the swimming pool. So this sound we hear, it's called splash.
Very nice. So the sound which is produced from, you know, from this
an object drops into the water.
Exactly. Very nice. What about tick?
It's just ticking, like a clock.
Like
so
a
this
clock.
is ticking, tick, 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 tick. This sometimes makes you nervous. So this is the
just
ticking.
an old-fashioned clock.
Yes.
Yes, very nice. Thank you. Whistle.
Classical one.
Whistle, well, I think this word is very familiar with the footballers and football referees and the policemen. If that object they put on the mouth, okay, and they just press the air in order to make that sound. And we can use this word with the sound of birds.
Yes.
You know, we can say
and even the wind.
The wind, yes.
Also, the wind entering into trees and so on.
So we can use this word whistle with quite a number of different things.
And usually boys whistle. They use their fingers and just
whistle.
Yes, just whistle.
Yes.
This is for boys.
You know, until now, okay, I don't know how to whistle with my fingers.
I used to know, but I
Can you
can't
teach me
now.
after this seminar?
Okay. I try to teach you that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Here now we have also another example, but now it is about idioms.
Yeah.
Not about vocabs.
Yeah.
It's about idioms. Here we have just 5 idioms, okay? We need now to learn about these idioms.
But Mr. Kareem, it's very important for the students to know the meaning of the word idiom on itself.
Yes.
So the word idiom,
clarify this idea?
So the word idiom is a group of words that have, particular meaning, and this meaning is different from the meaning of each word on its own.
Yes.
For example, when I said, the old man kicked the bucket. So, kick the bucket means here, he died.
Yes, yes. Good. So here the idiom is, we have a number of words together, okay? The meaning of these words together is different from the individual meanings of each word, so it's called idiom. Here we have some idioms. Would you please read them, Ms. Lama?
We have pick and choose.
Pick and choose.
Nearest and dearest.
Yes.
Odds and ends.
Yes.
Far and wide. Hassan Basr.
Good. So pick and choose, nearest and dearest, odds and ends, far and wide, hustle and bustle.
They are lovely.
Yeah, they are really lovely. They are, you know.
And sometimes you can find something similar to them in Arabic.
Words, musical words, okay?
Yeah.
Pick and choose. What do we mean by that, Mr. Hamid?
Pick and choose, as the word states, to select something selectively.
Yes, to select something.
To select something. That is
huge amount.
What about
to
nearest
pick and choose.
and dearest, Ms. Lama?
People who are my friends and my family.
Yes. So
they are
people who are the closest ones.
Nearest, yes.
The closest
people
ones.
Who are the closest ones. Very nice. Odds and ends.
Many different things.
Many different.
I like
miscellaneous,
this one.
we call it. Miscellaneous. Different things.
Yes,
different.
I like this.
Right.
This one.
Far and wide.
From every place.
Yes.
From everywhere.
Yes. From everywhere or everywhere. Very nice.
Every corner.
The last one, hustle and bustle.
Now the excitement.
Yes. The excitement.
The feeling that you are listening to something or watching something
you
very,
are excited, you
enjoyable.
are interested in listening, in seeing, in
and it
watching.
gives another idea when you have, huge amount of activity that is done in kind of, noisy surrounding.
Ceremony.
We call it, hustle and bustle.
Yeah.
So
when you go shopping,
you're
with
talking
your
about
mother
a noisy
and
surroundings.
And you enjoy that hustle and
noise
bustle.
and the excitement.
It's different noise. It's enjoyable one.
Yeah, that's very nice. Now here we have an exercise about these idioms. Let's start because we need to have a lot of things. Okay. Let's now immediately start with you, Mr. Hamid. We have sentence A, people.
people come from, so here we have a blank, to see the Umayyad mosque in the center of Damascus.
Yes.
So I think the correct response here is far and wide.
Yes. So people come from far and
all
wide.
over the world.
Yes.
The Umayyad Mosque is a very famous cultural site here in Syria.
Very nice.
B, I love spending time with my nearest and dearest.
Good.
So we often have family get-togethers.
Yes. So here, I love spending time with my nearest and dearest. C, Mr. Hamid.
While I was on holiday, I bought lots of odds and ends to give as presents. So the correct response here, odds and ends. I bought a lot of different things.
So many things, yes.
Very nice. D.
There are lots of restaurants near here. You can pick and choose from about 50. So you have a variety, and you can choose anyone
and
you
like.
have
The freedom to choose.
Yes.
You have, you know, the options. Okay, right. E, Mr. Hamid.
Some people here enjoy the hustle and bustle of shopping in street markets.
Yes.
Some people enjoy the excitement,
The excitement, yes.
the noisy surroundings.
Yes, the noisy surrounding, okay, the noisy atmosphere of shopping in street market. Very nice indeed. Actually, these are about the idioms which we have in this unit. Now, we have also something very important, and this is important to our students, especially in the exam, about word family.
Yeah.
When to choose a subject, when to choose a noun, when to choose
adjective,
an adjective or a verb.
Yeah.
So here, how to choose, how to change the word between the brackets into its correct form.
Yeah.
So here it depends on what comes before and what comes after.
Exactly.
So we are
and
going
the meaning
now.
Of the
of
sentence.
course, the meaning and also on grammar.
Exactly.
Because when we talk about family, and we have number 3, exercise number 3. Here we have complete these sentences with words derived. Okay, from the words.
From.
Yes, they come from. Right. For example, I'll do this sentence, then I'll give you, okay, the others. Der Zohr is an area of a great, here we have space or blank, beauty.
Yeah.
Then we have the word nature.
Which is noun.
If we ask the student to change the word nature in its correct form, so how to choose it? What should he do in order to change it in a correct way? So here we say, Der Zohr is an area of a great. Look at the word great. Great is an adjective.
Exactly.
Then after that, we have a space.
And then
the space is followed by a noun.
Yeah.
So here, a noun can have more than one or more than 2 adjectives.
Yeah.
So beauty is the noun. So here we understand
it's going
that
to be an adjective.
It should be it must be an adjective. So we say, Der Zohr is an area of a great natural beauty.
Yes.
Beauty. Because we have beauty is a noun, and we can describe a noun by more than 1 adjective. We can use 2, 3, 4, etc. Right?
Exactly.
Good. Miss Lama, what about B?
Careless drivers can seriously and space the safety. Yes, the safety of pedestrians.
Yes.
And we have threat.
Yes,
it's a
threat.
noun.
Threat is a noun.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we have here can, which is usually followed by a verb.
Ah, very good.
So they should change it into a verb, and we can do that by adding
en.
And it's going to be threat.
Very nice.
It's very easy.
Careless drivers can seriously threaten the safety. So here we use threaten. Why? Because we have the modal verb, which is can.
Yeah.
Can should be followed by a verb which is in the base form or zero form,
The infinitive
or infinitive without
the
two. Yes, good. C, Mr. Hamid.
Well, see, in my city, there's we have a space or a blank of entertainments to choose from. And we have in parentheses here the verb vary, Okay, so I think here the correct response is, in my city there is a wide variety.
Very nice. Why here?
You have an adjective.
Because we have wide is an adjective, so the adjective should be followed by a noun.
An adjective is a word that is used to qualify a noun.
Yeah. So what is now the adjective, the noun of vary?
Vary is variety.
Variety. So we say here,
and the adjective
in
is
my
various.
city there is a wide variety of entertainments to choose from.
Yeah.
Thank you. Miss
I'd
Lama.
like to live in a small village near the sea. Peace is noun.
Peace is noun.
Again, we have an adjective, small, and we have a noun after the space.
Yes.
So we can put here, we have to put here another adjective, which is peaceful.
Yes.
We add fu.
Very nice. So I'd like to live in a small, peaceful village near the sea. Good. Mr. Hamid E.
Well, synonyms E. The storm damage is a lasting, we have a blank, of the power of nature. Now, concerning the word lasting, it means something permanent, you know.
Yes, and it is an adjective.
Yeah, it's an adjective.
Yes.
So since it's an adjective, so the word adjective is a word that is used to describe a noun. So here, I get a fill in the blank. Here, I have to put the noun of the verb remind,
which is
a reminder.
A reminder. Very nice. So the storm damage is a lasting reminder of the power of nature. Good. The last one.
I'll never forget that I felt on my first day at school, and we have excited. So again, we have here to put a noun because we have the
definite article. Very good. Because here we have the. So after that, we can immediately have a noun or an adjective followed by a noun.
Yes. Since we don't have a noun after the space,
so here we have
just to be the noun itself.
Exactly.
Excitement.
Which is excitement.
Yes.
So I'll never forget the excitement
so students
I felt on my first
can
day.
do it very easily because they can just find key words to depend on them.
But also we must remind them of the ways of choosing or changing from noun into adjective and the others. Good. Very nice. Now I think, my dear colleagues, my dear students, it's time for a short break.
Yes.
Stay with us. Dear students, dear colleagues, welcome back to our seminar for today. In the first half, we were talking about the student's book, we talked about some activities, about the text in the student book in unit number 8. Dear colleagues, Miss Lama, Miss Hamid, we finished talking about the most important things in the student's book in unit number 8. Now we come immediately, right, to the activity book, because we have another important text in this book. This text is about capital cities.
Exactly.
When we talk about capital cities, also here, as we said, when we talked about comparing and
the title itself gives you an idea.
Yeah, so here, capital cities. We know capital cities. We have a lot of capital cities in the world. Each country has a capital city, right? We have Damascus, we have Amman, we have Cairo, we have Baghdad, we have, Tokyo, etc. So we have capital cities. Now, here in this text, we are going to compare between
two capital cities.
Two capital cities, which are Damascus and Brasilia.
Yeah.
You know, Brasilia is the capital city of Brazil. Damascus is the capital city of Syria.
Yeah. Our home country.
Very nice. In the beginning of this text, we have a general idea about what?
The capital
about
cities
the capital cities in general. Then after
The
that, we will
definition
go
of the
into
capital
details
To compare between
Damascus and
Brasilia.
Brazil.
The definition of the capital city in
Very-
general.
Very nice. The definition in general.
Yeah.
Now, what do we mean by capital cities, Mr. Hamid?
Well, capital cities generally mean the greatest city in the country.
Yes.
The city that houses the key government institutions, the city that has, the most populous.
Yes.
For example, here in Syria, Damascus is considered as the most populous city in Syria. It has got, the most important and the key important, institutions. In Damascus, we have banks, we have, financial buildings, we have embassies. So that is what is a capital city.
Very nice, very nice. So here, what buildings, Ms. Lama, are characteristics of capital cities? He talked in general now, but now here we are going to have in specific, specifically speaking, what buildings are the characteristics
The most important government buildings like
Yes.
embassies, banks,
Yes.
financial institutions, let's say universities. So the most let's say banks, which could be national and international, are usually located in the capital city.
In the capital city.
This is usually in all the capital cities.
Actually, it is not necessary to have banks or financial centers because
in
now,
every
okay, it depends on the country, on the system of the country.
Exactly.
So yes, so here in Syria we can say that Damascus is the financial center, but in other capital cities, the capital cities are not like that.
Yeah.
So
we
here
are
it
going to
depends.
know that.
We are
Yeah,
going to
compare
step by step.
Yes.
Good.
This is
Why is Damascus considered to be the oldest city in the world?
Well, Damascus is considered to be the oldest city in the whole world because for a lot of reasons. But here
So we have many
it has,
reasons.
yeah, it has a rich history, and it's considered to be the most, or it's been continually inhabited for thousands of years.
Yes, yes, it is continually inhabited for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So it is the oldest populated city in the world.
Yes.
Very nice. Where is the commercial and administrative center of Damascus located, Ms. Lama?
They are located in the modern part of the city.
Here, although Damascus is a very ancient city, but it has,
modern part.
Yeah, it has some modern parts.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can say that the commercial and administrative center
Yes.
of Damascus is located
in the new part of the city.
Very good. Thank you. What are the similarities between Brasilia and Damascus, Mr. Hamid?
Well, the similarities between Brasilia and Damascus, well, like Damascus, it's the administrative center, it's the council.
So Damascus, Brasilia, administrative.
It's an administrative center.
Yeah.
That's, Damascus, and it contains the key political buildings.
Yes, very nice. Good.
And institutions, of course.
Institutions. So in this way, they are similar to each other because both capitals, right, have the administrative centers and the key political institutions.
The fundamentals.
Good. What are the differences between Brasilia and Damascus, Ms. Lama?
Damascus is a cultural and economic center of Syria, but Brasilia is not the major cultural and economic center of Brazil.
Yes. So here we say Damascus is the cultural center, the economic center of Syria, but Brasilia is not.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you. Mr. Hamid, when did Brasilia become the capital city of Brazil?
Well, it became the capital city in Brazil since it took over, the previous capital city actually was Rio.
Yes.
And that happened in 1960.
Yes. So originally, Rio de Janeiro was the capital of Brazil, but in the 1960s, in the previous century, Brasilia became the capital city of Brazil.
So it's a quite completely new city.
It's a new city, very nice. If
unlike Damascus.
If compared with Damascus is very, very, very old city. Good. How is Brasilia regulated, Ms. Lema?
It was regulated by the planners to be divided into sectors.
Yes.
With the specific tasks for each one. That's why you can find places of business, industry, government, or places where people live usually.
Yes.
So they are divided.
Because it is new. Right.
They were able to do that.
Planners divided it in a very, very modern way.
Yes.
But because Damascus is very ancient.
It's naturally developed.
Yeah, it's naturally developed.
So you can't control that as you are growing that a new place.
As building, as establishing a new city. Yeah. Very nice. Thank you very much. This is actually about, you know, the text about capital cities. Here we have some vocabs also, the laptop please, which are related to this text, right?
Yeah.
Let me give, for example, the word embassy. Embassy, you know, what is embassy? What do you mean by embassy? Mr. Hamid.
Embassy, for example, when we have a foreign country and they have a representative here in our country and they need an office. So embassy, it's the office of the representative of a foreign country.
Yes. So it is the offices of the representatives of a foreign country. Very nice. What about regulate? And this word is a verb, regulate.
It's to control something.
Yes.
To be able to determine what's going to be.
To supervise
it.
Or to control.
Yes.
This is called regulate. Very nice. Mr. Hamid, what do you mean by the word sector?
Sector is kind of, you know, particular part of something, a particular part of an area.
Yeah, it is a particular part.
A specific part.
Specific part. It is devoted for something. For example, this is for
industrial sector, for example.
Sector.
Agricultural sector.
Very nice.
Financial sector.
Yes. What about specific, Ms. Lema?
It's, let's say, clearly defined.
Clearly defined.
Yes.
Very nice. So specific means clearly defined. Fraction, Mr. Hamid.
Fraction, you're talking about a small part, a small amount of something.
Yes.
A very tiny part.
Yes, it's a very tiny part or small part, small amount
we call it a fraction.
Of something. What about institution?
It's an organization, any organization which has got a certain role. It's an institution.
Yes, it's called institution. So institution is an organization with an important role
in the country.
Yeah. It's called institution. Very nice. Good. Thank you very much indeed. We have also an important exercise here, which is number 3.
It's related to the same.
It is related to the same. So here, in order to understand more and more about the capital cities and the function of capital cities in the life of the country in general, we need to do these activities. Here we have, you know, a number of words. We have capital, we have residential, government, financial, industrial, and administrative. Here now these words are to be used here in the spaces. Let's start with you, Mr. Hamid, sentence A.
So sentence A, the space, we have a space here, area is where people live.
Yes.
So the correct response here, the residential area.
Yeah,
so it's a kind of define. What is a residential area? It's an area where people live.
Yes, where people live. Very nice.
B, capital cities contain key government buildings such as the parliament.
Good. So again, capital cities contain
the key government buildings such
because
as, we are going to use
the parliament. The parliament.
C, government buildings are often known as, we have a space, buildings. Well, the correct response here is administrative buildings.
Good.
Government buildings are often known. What are they known?
The same
Well,
as
administrative
buildings.
Good.
Yeah.
D.
In Brasilia, if you want to build a factory, you would do it in the, of course, industrial sector.
In
The
industrial.
industrial, because we have factory here.
Factories, you want to build a factory.
So in the industrial sector.
Yes.
Yes, good. Thank you. The last one, Mr. Hamid.
Well, banking and other, we have a blank here. Institutions are usually based in the capital city. Since we're talking about banking, so we, of course, the blank here, the correct is
money.
About money.
Financial. Good.
Yeah, financial.
So banking and other financial institutions are usually based in the capital city. Very nice. Good. Now, we studied vocabs. We did some activities here, or 2 or 3 activities about. Now, the last activity about this text will be here.
About a revision. It's kind of a revision.
It is a kind of revision. Text. Very nice. Good. Which is number 4 here. So number 4, we are going to choose either Brasilia or Damascus, or maybe both of them.
Okay.
Right. Because we have some similarities between Brasilia and Damascus. We have some differences between Brasilia and Damascus. And, okay, so here we are going to say either Brasilia or Damascus.
If the sentence is describing Brasilia or Damascus.
Or Damascus.
Read the sentence first. And
here, the first one, it is the largest city in the country.
That is Damascus.
That is Damascus. Good.
Yeah, because Brasilia is not the largest city.
Very nice. It is not the largest city in Brazil. B, it is an ancient city.
It's Damascus.
Because
it's
inhabited for thousands of years.
Brasilia
is quite new. It started in the 1960s.
Very nice.
So it's very
good. It is the administrative center of the country.
Well, both of them.
Both of them. Damascus and Brasilia are the administrative centers of Syria and Brazil. It is an important cultural center.
Here we're talking about Damascus.
Damascus, because Brasilia is not the cultural center of Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. It only became a capital city during the 20th century.
Brasilia.
It is a Brasilia.
Because Damascus was inhabited since thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands of years. Okay, very good. It's a new city.
It's Brasilia.
It's a Brasilia.
Yeah.
Because Damascus is a very ancient city.
Very nice, very nice. Thank you very much indeed. We talked about sounds.
Yes.
Now, actually, we talked also about these idioms. What we need to talk about, dear students, dear colleagues, is something about writing.
Yeah.
It is very important to teach our students how to write.
Yeah.
And until now, we find it a big difficulty, a big challenge, you know, how to teach our students to write. We know in the final exam, our students memorize about 30 or 25 or 30 compositions and come to the exam to write down, okay, what they
remember. It's very complicated.
Actually, this is not the correct way.
Yeah.
What we need to do is to teach our students how to write composition.
It's a very important skill.
Yes, it's a very important skill. Would you please, Ms. Lama, give us an idea about the beginning of writing, how to teach, how do you recommend our students to do? What do you recommend them to do in order to be good writers?
Well, at first they have to read the topic carefully.
Yes.
Then, once they understand what they are going to write about, to start by an introduction.
Yes.
And by that
how long
introduction,
should be the introduction?
It could be only 1 or 2 sentences.
One sentence or
One or
two.
two.
Yeah, good.
That's enough. But it should be
what should be included in
the same topic.
Yeah, the same
topic. What we are going to talk, the introduction should be about it.
So the reader should learn from the very beginning of the sentence.
What I'm going to read.
From the
student
topic,
is
what
writing
the
about the
student
same
is
topic.
going to write about.
Yes.
For example, if he's talking about Damascus, for example.
Yeah.
Okay? So he says Damascus is one of the oldest cities in the world.
It's clear that the composition
so
is
here
going
from
to
the
be
very
about
beginning,
Damascus.
me as a reader,
I know what
understand that this student or this person is going to talk about Damascus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not about Latakia, for example. So this is about the introduction. So the introduction, we might have just one sentence for, or maybe two. If you want to elaborate, if you okay, more. Then how to start with the topic or the body of the composition, Mr. Hamid?
Well, in the body, we can. The student maybe can expand his ideas.
What do we need to write in the body?
Well, in the body, you need to expand your ideas, give the details. For example, here in this, since you're talking about Damascus, for example, in the body, I can explain why is Damascus considered to be the capital city of Syria. It has, the financial, give the details.
So here we don't need to philosophize, right?
At all.
Okay.
Just now write simple sentences.
Exactly.
These simple sentences can be linked or joined together
by the use of transition words.
And it's familiar to the topics because they have so many texts about the same topics.
So we are not talking about Damascus now, but we are just giving an example.
Just a sample.
I mean that all the words the students need to write, they are taught the same words. They can use these two books as a dictionary for them.
Yes.
They can use it, but they need to simplify the information. They need to write only a few simple sentences, not to be complicated.
Yes, exactly. So here now, when we talk about Damascus, for example, we need to write some examples, some ideas, why Damascus is important, why Damascus is considered to be the oldest city in the world, why is Damascus considered to be the capital of Syria?
So clarify your ideas in the body. Give me more details. Give me more information.
To enrich your opinion or what you are writing about. Very nice indeed. So here, as I said, in the exam, our students are required to write between 80 and 100 words. It means that about 8 lines or 8 sentences, maybe 10 sentences as maximum. So we start, as we said,
with the
introduction, which takes maybe just one sentence, right? Then after that, we go into details. Why Damascus is important? Why do people come from all over the world to visit Damascus? Okay, what are the most important things
they
or
can
places
do or see?
Or monuments in Damascus. So we can, mention all these things. We talk about the Umayyad Mosque, for example. We talk about Al-Hamidiyya or Souq Al-Hamidiyya here.
Exactly.
We talk about Qasyun, and we talk about,
the National Museum.
The National Museum.
A number of different places.
So here now our students need to write correct sentences, simple but correct sentences. And that is all. This is about the body.
And then
what about
the end?
The last step of writing.
The conclusion, or how to close, how to end that composition.
How to end.
Yes, it can be just by giving recommendation, personal point of view, or just to, let's say, give an idea about what he has written about.
Yes.
It can be, again, a sentence or 2 sentences. Not more than that. And it's enough to finish that composition. So what you have to do is in the body of the composition. You can talk that, you can expand, you can add information, you can clarify yourself. Then when you come to the end, you just finish it with maybe to recommend something.
Yes.
I recommend, if I'm talking about Damascus,
well, it depends on
I recommend that you
writing.
come.
Yes.
If I'm writing, for example, a report, I end my composition with a kind of recommendation or my opinion.
Yes.
I recommend you to see this and this. Okay.
Even if I'm talking about my city, I recommend that you come and see it. So it's just one sentence to close what you are talking about.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. I think it is very clear now, the idea of writing.
We hope so.
I hope so, of course. It is very simple, and I advise our students not to memorize a big
very
number.
hard.
It's very hard. Not to memorize a big number of compositions.
Yeah.
Just write simple sentences, link them together, okay? And that's all. That is everything about writing.
Yeah.
Very nice. We please go back to page 50 because we have a very important exercise here in this page. Yes. Here we have, you know, to link or to join two sentences together using words of contrast. We talked about but, whereas, while, and although. So let's start immediately because the time is going quickly now.
Damascus is the largest city in Syria, but Brasilia is small compared with cities like Rio de Janeiro.
Okay, so Damascus is the largest city in Syria,
that is small,
but Brasilia is small compared with the cities like Rio de Janeiro. Number 2, or B, sorry.
Brasilia is not the major cultural and economic center of Brazil, whereas Damascus is the cultural and economic hub of Syria.
Very nice.
Here the word hub means the central part.
The center, okay. Very
Brasilia
nice.
was designed by an architect in the 20th century, while Damascus developed naturally over thousands of years.
Again, please.
Brasilia
was designed
by
an architect.
Yes, in the 20th century, while Damascus developed naturally over thousands
of years. Thank you. The last one.
Brasilia is a very modern city, and although Damascus is a very old city, there are modern areas with many new buildings.
Very nice. Thank you.
So they're used here for and although.
Very nice. Actually, this is the end of the seminar of today. In the end, I'd like to thank you very, very much, Ms. Lama Halloum.
Thank you.
Who came from Latakia, this long journey. Thank you very much for your lovely participation.
Thank you,
Mr. Hamid, for this lovely participation also.
Thank you, Mr. Karim. It was a privilege.
Thank you very much. Dear students, dear colleagues, till we meet again, this is Karim Qassab greeting you from the educational channel, the Syrian educational channel in Damascus. Thank you. Goodbye.